The economy is shifting. Are you prepared? If a recession hits tomorrow, would your finances survive? Let's lock in your money strategy. There's a lot of talk about looming recessions, and I want to first of all define what a recession is. A recession is a significant, widespread, and prolonged downturn in economic activity that can last for months or years. And a recession can occur from a variety of things, such as a widespread drop in spending, or an external trade shock from things like tariffs. A recession can occur from natural disasters, such as a pandemic, or from the bursting of an economic bubble, such as a drop in the stock market. Now, the thing about it is, how can one recession proof? How can you recession proof your finances in the event that a recession were to occur? Well, one thing that you can do is to create and live on a budget. A budget is simply a cash plan for your money. It puts you in control of your money. And by using the zero-based budget approach to budgeting, that's where you have all of your income minus your expenses equaling zero at the end of each month, or at the end of the month when you do a budget. Of course, a budget is to be done each month before the month begins. So this is not a one and done type situation. You're always doing a budget because expenses change from month to month. And you want to make sure you're capturing all those expenses. Of course, you are tracking your expenses throughout the month to make sure that you're giving every dollar a job. You are telling your dollars where to go instead of wondering where they went. And you are making sure that you are organized and intentional with your finances and with your money by doing a budget. As a matter of fact, when you do a budget, it brings about a sense of organization. And if you're married, it brings a sense of communication between you and your spouse. And also, doing a budget brings emotional relief. So having a cash plan for your money is one good way you can recession-proof your money in these times. Another thing you can do is to create an emergency fund. Yes, an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved in a high-yield savings account. And the reason why you're saving it in a high-yield savings account because you're getting a better rate of return at this point is 3.5 to 4% rate of return. But again, to recession-proof your finances, an emergency fund is necessary because the unexpected can happen at any point via a job loss or a medical event or a death in the family or a car or appliance breakdown. And by having an emergency fund in place, you're protecting yourself and you're creating that buffer between you and life's events should they happen. So again, making sure an emergency fund is in place and also automating your savings account. In other words, what I mean by that is you're automating automatically from your direct deposit straight into that emergency savings so that you can not have to worry about missing or not contributing toward that emergency fund. So automating your emergency fund is the best way to go. Now, if you're in debt, what I would recommend is that you create what's called a starter emergency fund of $1,000 as quickly as you can. Now you say, well, that's not a lot of money. Well, again, yes, you're right. It's not a lot of money, but what you're doing is you are buffering yourself against those small incidents, those small unexpected expenses, such as a flat tire, such as a quick run to the emergency room if something were to happen medically. And this avoids you digging yourself deeper into debt by having to go to credit cards or taking out a personal loan. So in this time of a looming recession, it's very important to have an emergency fund in place. 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved in an emergency fund. Speaking of debt, that's the third thing that you want to make sure that you are taking care of in this time especially is getting rid of debt. Getting rid of debt. Debt carries a lot of interest, high interest with it. And one thing about interest, interest paid is a penalty. Interest earned is a reward. So getting rid of the debt and getting rid of it quickly by the use of what's called the debt snowball method, where you're paying off your debt from lowest balance to highest balance as opposed to highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. Where you're saying, well, why would I do that? Why would I focus on the balance as opposed to the interest? Should I want to get rid of the highest interest? Well, actually, by paying off your debt from the lowest balance to the highest balance, you're getting those quick wins. You're getting those quick wins, and it's motivating you to move forward as quick as you can and getting rid of the debt. So again, getting rid of the debt is important in this time because debt in a time of recession puts a financial strain upon your finances. In fact, it's never a good idea to have high interest debt, or matter of fact, debt of any kind, especially during a recession. Now, if you're out of debt and you have your emergency fund built up of 3 to 6 months, then the fourth thing you can do in a recession or to recession-proof your finances is to invest. Yes, invest into the growth stock mutual funds. So you're saying, well, why in the world would I invest, especially when the stock market may be going down? Well, the thing about it is, at this point, the prices for various stocks are at its cheapest when there's a downturn in the stock market. So you're getting a bargain if you were to invest at the moment. Now, of course, you want to make sure, again, that you're out of debt and that you have the emergency fund saved up. But again, investing at this point is a good move if you want to shore up your finances in a recession. Now, of course, through your job, most jobs have 401ks. So if you're investing through your 401k on your job up to the match. Now, what I mean by match is you are investing and the money towards your 401k, and your employer is also matching dollar for dollar up to a certain amount of your investment as well into your 401k. Now, once you reach that match, then what you would do is take out what's called a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is a investment that you're investing with after-tax dollars. After-tax dollars, and what that means is that once you retire or once you draw upon that Roth IRA, this is tax-free because, again, you're paying the taxes up front as opposed to paying it on the back end. So again, investing in a Roth IRA is the next move after you've met the match on your job. Now, you also want to make sure that you are diversifying. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So diversification is very key when you're investing. Investing in growth stock mutual funds. There's types of investing or various types of stocks that you can invest in would be one such as growth, growth in income, aggressive growth, and international. So you're diversifying, you're investing into various types of stocks so that, and mutual funds, I should say also, so that when things happen, you don't have all your eggs in one basket. I would recommend that you talk with an investor, a financial investor who has a heart of a teacher, who will guide you through and make sure that you're intentional or making intentional choices as it pertains to investing into the stock market and into your money, or investing your money, I should say, at this time into the stock market. So if this content has been beneficial to you, please click subscribe and drop a comment. And also share this content with others that may benefit from this particular video. You can also look at some other videos I have, but one particular video I want to bring your attention to is one that I talk about tariffs and how it affects you. So check that video out as well. And remember, this is the time to recession-proof your finances so that you can put yourself in a position financially to weather the storm when it happens.